Right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Conversations with Spirit. Welcome. So, I was ready to jump in on here and get a going and talk about something very special today, and then got called by Spirit. Now I'm back, so I'm trying to reshift my energy, get me back in the space. Does help for me, myself, to set a sacred space. And then, again, it's a mess. That tis the human experience. Right? We are messy, messy creatures, and very much we are, you know, have things to use. So this is welcome to my imagination station. But I do have my bell that I like to use to clear the air, clear the energy, change the frequency, all that. So welcome. Super excited. I'm gonna shift gears again today because I'm still in this journey of figuring out the YouTube, and how I want to do this. Um, I'm very much the type that I don't mind putting my uh, tries out there publicly and seeing how things roll. So definitely gonna shift gears again. We're gonna have more of the conversations with spirit, or coffee with spirit is very I feel like should be limited. It's just one of those things where I would like to be able to really fully channel with spirit and have a full almost discussion between us and then other people. But I would really like for this to go into more of the talk show aspect, or just this kind of a talking or connecting is what I would love. And then definitely more of a live situation to where we can have no video, just what happens happens, fuck around and find out. That's what I love to say. So, um, yes. So yes, talk show. So for the best way to kind of kick off this new shift into the more of the talk show realm, definitely going to be inviting anyone who is interested to come on. We can have different topic conversations about things that we both, would like to talk about, maybe same similarities with some topics, maybe difference of opinion on topics. I'm very, I love to research. I love to use my rising Scorpio to really put on that investigator hat and learn and absorb knowledge and constantly grow and know more, and definitely a seeker in that aspect, seeker of knowledge, and the big why. I guess it's something I'm very passionate about. And those little aha moments that you have, whenever things really make sense for you, or someone says something, you're like, oh my gosh, and it dawns on you for the first time, those kind of feelings. It's I love those feelings. It's such a eureka moment, And it's you feel almost so validated and heard and confirmed, and it's just a really lovely feeling. So those are, the type of moments that I like to experience, especially. Um, and hopefully, y'all start noticing those or have noticed those moments on your journey thus far. So, I would not have gotten here all on my lonesome. I definitely have a huge fortunate, and I know very well, blessing for my life partner, sacred partner, life companion. We've gone by so many different names just in our relationship, but have been together for 10 years. And I really love our story because it shows me now, especially that we've been together 10 years, um, and married for 4, going on 5 years next year. So it's been, a huge shift, especially with me coming out and transitioning into female and going through gender affirming care, like going through all these things that, strides we're making to make it to where like I feel comfortable in my body and want, and like the body that I have, and can really deal with the body aspects so that I'm really more in tune and more able to like channel and just really like fully aligned in all of who I am, and really like continue this message of like healing and guidance. So definitely meeting my husband and partner started way before we actually met. I was homeless from the period, like real homeless, serious homeless, like from the time I was like 18, 19, up until I was like 20, really. And during that period, I was doing a lot of like self-harming things. Self-harm has been something I've struggled with for a long time because of my dysphoria, I mean, and um, so like I would self-harm in like ways like maybe not eating, like not really being anorexic, but just like not really like eating well, and like taking care of my body, and like not taking care of my physical body, not going to the doctor, like not going to the dentist, like, very much these are all ways that, we can self harm because it's our body and we'll do what we want to it in a sense. And there's, so much out there that comes with that feeling and just like looking into that. So I always say like find professional help. Like if you're having these type of issues or realizing that maybe things you're doing are self-harm, then definitely need to speak with a professional and somebody that you trust, and just, really get out there and really like talk to somebody about it, that can help, before you make any like life altering decisions. Like really do a check in and check in with your professional peoples, um, and just advocate for yourself. Right? It's like you're your biggest advocate. Advocate for yourself. Um, it's very empowering, and I am fortunate enough to have gone through the experiences that I went through and still end up with somebody who, is probably the most patient and one of the like kindest people I've ever met. Um, he really values like human life, and he really is very, you know, someone who like I just needed so badly. And it's like it is hard to feel, not in a sense of like neediness, but like to just need someone, and to feel needed by someone. And so when I was 18, 19, I was doing a lot of drugs at that time as well. Like I was just in a really bad state, and I was homeless, and I just did not care, and I was suicidal, and I was just like waiting till I wasn't here anymore, which is difficult. It's difficult to live that, and it's difficult to like realize that, right? And to admit it, to say it out loud sometimes. But um, during that period, I started to go through one thing that was very strange. that I almost got to the point where like I could almost will it to happen was like a sense of almost like body paralysis or sleep paralysis, they'll say. But it always started with this like frequency tone or something, which I didn't know back then what that was, frequencies and tones and all of that, and how that can, be used to actually like concentrate on certain areas or do certain things to the body or the mind. And so I would hear this one tone, and then I would like feel like I was in a tunnel, right? And it was like wah 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 wah. It would kind of be this like feeling and the sound that was going on in my ears, and then I would just not be able to move my body. Like I'd just be stuck there, and then I would get to the point where I would be so freaked out I was like trying to scream to like wake someone up or wake me up from this dream state or whatever, and then it would just get to the point where like finally I could scream, and then I would scream, and then I would like wake up and like come out of it, but it was like terrifying coming out of it all the time, right? So that was going on, and then I was having this like dream. It was like the same dream, right? And I'm in this RV, and I'm going down this dirt road. It's like a highway, but it's in the middle of the desert, and I see a huge billboard, and the billboard says, "This way to LA." It's like 40 miles or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm on the way. So I'm obviously moving to LA. Um, and so then as I get a little further down, I see like a person with like a little something. And then as I get closer, it's like a person holding like a cardboard sign, and it was like, "This way to LA or stop here for love." And so I was like, okay, that was interesting. So I pull over the RV. The person gets on. I can't see their face. It's completely blurry, completely blurry. And they're talking to me, and we're talking as though like we've known each other forever. And like, they're just pouring their heart out to me, and they're just like, we're talking. Still can't see their face. All I could see was like black hair, and that was it. And then they were like, "So what are you gonna do?" And then I wake up, right? So I'm having this dream like for years. I started having it like 2003, right? Flash forward to 2013, right? At this point, I'm living in LA. I've gone through like a series of all of these relationships that were abusive and toxic and just really messed up, right? And then just got to the point where I was like, I'm moving to California. Like, fuck it. Packed a bag and left. So I'm living in LA County in Long Beach and working at a bubblegum shrimp company, getting ready to be made a trainer. All this stuff's going on. Took me forever to get a job while I was there. Like when I finally moved to Long Beach. And so finally was like happy that I've been working a few months, was getting made a trainer, and like it was some good stuff. Like it's finally gonna happen. But I was falling back into old behavior patterns. And then my dad calls me and he's like, I need you to come to Austin and I need you to help me save my business. I'm like, okay. I was like, look, if I can get everything together and things move smoothly, I can get out there for a few months. I'll come out there until January, but then I'm coming back. I was like, okay, that's fine. That works for me. So I get out, figure it out within a week. It's like, have a sublet. My job's going to hold my job. Like, things are going to happen. I'm like, cool. It's going to work out. So I fly um, to Austin. So I'm in Austin about a week and a half, and then I meet this guy over a very popular app, very popular gay chat app. And we chat, he's like kind of interested. I was like, I don't know, I'm just like, not really. I wasn't trying to date anybody. I'd also tried to do this like long distance thing with a guy who turned out to be wild, wild, and we were not a good match. Luckily, fate intervened, destiny intervened, and I moved to Austin before that could even go any further. Um, that. So believe me when I say it was like a repeat or evolve situation, and I got on that plane and was like, I'm going to evolve. Didn't know what was going on, but that's what was going on. So I meet my partner. Um, we're chatting for like 3 weeks, just over chat. How's your day? It's going well. Like sent me pictures of him hiking with his dog at a waterfall. And I'm like, oh, that's different. I love that. Like, was like talking to me just about my day, and I hope you have a good day and like, all of that. So it was nice. Like, and I knew having to kind of go back and live with my dad and like go through that whole situation of being around him was going to be a lot, but I felt like obligated to go, right? And like, I am glad that I moved here because I really didn't move here for him. Like, I moved here for Chris, right? Like, and it's like interesting how we found each other, and then I was planning on going back. Like, I was, I had enough pretty much with my dad and at the shop, and like it really was like a situation where I'm like, do I go back to LA or do I stay here? Like, what do I do? And we're sitting there looking at each other in this January, and he's like, what are you gonna do? And it's like that whole dream, it all came to me, and I was like, you're the person, like, you're the chance, like, you're the one that, it's like, go to LA or stay here for love, and I felt this sense of like 10 years of the same dream off and on, even when I was in relationships with other people. It was like telling me that like this isn't the one. Like this is just a detour, right? This is just like a rest stop. You're gonna get back on the journey. You're gonna get to this person, which not everyone, it's like it's hard because like when you meet that person and you feel it and you really like have this sense of in real seriousness, like we have done this many lives. We have been partners before. Like it's now gotten to the point where, when you do go through the path of ascension and then you get to a certain point where the oneness really sets in and you realize everything is everything and you've been everywhere and you've been everything, it starts to like unfold for you in a very real, however sense for you that is, but it's undeniable, It is undeniable, like that feeling of aha, that feeling of like what it was meant to teach you or what it was the experience was or what your whole experience is, as a soul being having a human experience, right? And you just really like open up to not just the possibilities, but almost like the probabilities, because it feels like at times he and I have had to relive the same traumas or maybe endings that we had in another lifetime, but this time, like, we made it, right? It's like he had an accident, went through a floor, could have lost his life or his leg or something like very poorly, like very bad outcome, and it would have been a feeling of like we relived this whole thing again, right? And like he almost lost me several times because of my mental health. So it's like we've had to relive these little like trauma almost moments again. It feels like where we were being open to like, you know, clearing that karma and clearing that trauma and healing it from other lifetimes, so that's where this whole dimensions comes in and densities and like realizing that different lifetimes, different lifelines, like multiverses, like so much. And like for a so long period of time, we were okay with just like everything being about this big. And now it's just gotten to this big and then this big and this big. And now I can't even fill this room. We're just like, it's so much. But that's the whole point. It's like, in a sense, I feel, or what I receive. Hate those little microaggressions. Like, that's the whole point. Or, like, well, if you just listen, or, well, if you thought about it, like, ugh, they're so gross. Um, not the tea. But, yeah, no, it feels good when you just know that this is like a soul that we are meant to be together and to live this life now together and as these people, that we're both evolving to, but getting to evolve together, different times, different speeds, but like we're still like together, like it's been 10 years and like there's literally no one else in this world that I could just sit down and have any conversation with, talk about anything with, be my authentic self with, like transition and be like, I love you, who you are. I don't know, but let's fuck around and find out. Like, like it's literally like the most complex level of trust ever between us. And we had to go through, like, he had to live through my shadow aspects, go through my dark night, watch me go through it, like, watch me struggle, watch me go through it sometimes, like, to the point where I would feel like, why didn't you intervene or try to blame him? And it's like, you can't interrupt somebody's journey. Like, it's not yours to interrupt. You could be like a validation or confirmation or like, hey, yeah, like, been there, like, I'm on the other side. Like, once you get over here with that type of trauma, like, we'll be here. Like, we're ready. Like, come on down. Red Rover. Like, serious. And, like, the healing journey is forever. Like, there's so much to heal, to continue healing. And then, even if you heal up, whatever you feel like, okay, I've healed it all, right? You're still going to have life experience. You're still going to be around other people who are unhealed. And it's like, kind of this like, once it's very hard not to unknow. And that's why I think it's important for us to like remove the people, places, and things that aren't serving our highest good because like it's less that you have to like deal with. There's a lot less of that projecting or other people's like stuff, baggage, we'll say, that they carry around that they're not willing to even look at as baggage, right? And it's important that, when you have those moments where you can really unpack that in a safe environment, that's open to growth, then it's good to like do that and have those moments so that you can really like heal and just remember no matter where you at on this healing journey that you remember how far you've already come. This is really important, like look at the journey you've made thus far. Even if you feel like you're just at the beginning, those first steps are so hard, right? And it's so difficult to like start and go with. And again, it's easier for me to say all this when, you know, like have a legitimate other person, entity, soul there that's like there, right? And so just I had to definitely do the self love, self worth, like really, it took 10 years of him telling me pretty much every day, hi, beautiful, before I started to like feel beautiful, and it took a lot of different shifts and changes and rabbit holes and like freakouts and moments where I just finally surrendered, to the divine feminine. It was just divine, not even divine masculine. It was toxic masculinity for so long. And then it was like, okay, I don't want any masculinity. Just went right into my divine feminine hard. Now I'm like bringing up some of that divine masculine back up, balance it out, have the both because it's so important to have both for everyone to kind of help you, ground when you need to ground and release when you need to release and just really like advocate for yourself, right? And when you do that, then the other people who are really there to advocate for you, to be there for you, be there with you, and embrace you as you are and your authentic self, they will naturally show up, right? And the people that are not meant to be there will, for the most part, leave, or the ones that are benefiting from your suffering or benefiting from your light, even when you get to a high vibrational, period there. It's like they really won't, will want that as well. So it's like I'm learning how to protect myself, and protect myself in all sense. And I really had to learn how to protect myself from myself first, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I've like been wanting to come on here to talk about like our relationship a little bit, kind of get to know what it's like when you really continue on the healing journey and like you don't have to be fully healed on certain things to start speaking about them or to tell your story, and like your story's not meant for everyone, but we also, you never know when your survival guide, your story could be someone else's survival guide. That's what Brene Brown says. It's like someday your story will be somebody else's survival guide, is the quote. Um, Love her. Oh my god, she's amazing. Yes. So that's it. I think we're just gonna cut off there. um, any comments would be awesome. Like and subscribe. That'd be cool. Like definitely, if anybody wants to shoot me a message or shoot me in the comments, like, hey, would love to have a topic discussion about some stuff. Um, super, we'll look into it. If it's something I don't know anything about, even better. So, all about sharing knowledge, definitely. Just being, I don't know, like a platform on top of a platform, I guess, for people. So, let's see what happens. Trust in spirit. So, have a wonderful day, y'all. Our song that we started with today was Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Interesting. And let's see, what is our song going out is Little Bit of Love by RuPaul and Cummerspeck. There you go. Welcome. So that was cool. Yes, I'm gonna go. I need to really get these ashes sent, and my mom. So back there, y'all. Trying. It's been wild. Heaviness, and I am just like rolling with it. Days, just listen to my body, and that's all y'all can do too. So much love and light. I'm gonna go. Spirit says, wrap it up. Girl, this is not a telethon. Send your whatever. All right, love y'all. Bye.